Have you ever wondered why it seems that some people carry such a heavy burden, being born into families that, instead of offering love, seem to create a battlefield? What if I told you that this is not a mistake nor a punishment, but an intentional choice? Your choice. If you feel you were born into an environment that stifles your essence, that often makes you doubt who you really are, know that you are not alone. Thousands of people share this same feeling, this same question. Why me? Perhaps your family has been the scene of so many hurts and struggles that, at times, you don't see the point in it all. And that hurts, doesn't it? Growing up in an environment where you expected to find protection and love, but found rejection, criticism, or even silence. It seems that with every argument, every harsh word, a piece of your heart was ripped out. You look back and wonder if something could have been different. Why does the place that was supposed to be your refuge seem to have been the site of your greatest battle? But now, imagine if there was a purpose behind it. Imagine that this pain was not in vain, that everything you faced was part of a bigger plan, a plan that your own soul chose before you were even born. Yes, you heard right. Your soul chose your family, every detail, every challenge, with the precision of an artist creating his masterpiece. As contradictory as it may seem, the biggest obstacles you've faced can actually be the greatest gifts of your life. And that's exactly what we're going to explore together. Before we go any further, if this topic is already touching something inside you, if you feel you need to hear more, take the opportunity now to subscribe to our channel. Here, we are together on this journey of transformation, exploring deep truths and seeking answers that can change lives. Activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content, because what comes next is transformative. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes we're going to unravel the mystery behind these choices. You'll discover why the chosen ones grow up in toxic families, and more importantly, how to turn this pain into your greatest strength. The answer could change the way you see your story, and maybe even your future. Have you ever noticed how the difficulties that challenge us the most are also the ones that transform us in the most profound way? What if I told you that the toxicity in your family, no matter how painful, was not designed to destroy you, but to shape you into a masterpiece? Perhaps you feel that family conflicts have burned something inside you, your hope, your strength, even your faith in yourself. I understand. When challenges seem unmanageable, it's easy to believe that you're being broken. But what if instead you were being forged? Like steel that only gets stronger when it's exposed to intense fire. The truth is that growing up in a toxic environment isn't just challenging, it's exhausting. You may have asked yourself, why is this happening to me? Why am I the only one who seems to carry the weight of all these pains and conflicts? These questions weigh heavy, don't they? But even in these questions, there is a greater purpose hidden away, waiting to be discovered. What you may not see right now is that all this pain is preparing you for something extraordinary. Every argument, every criticism, every heavy silence has the potential to teach you something, to strengthen something inside you that, without that fire, might never be discovered. Toxicity in your family can be compared to a furnace. It hurts, but it also transforms. Just as steel becomes stronger under heat, your soul is being shaped by these challenges. You are learning lessons about resilience, patience, and above all, self-knowledge. It is these lessons that will make you stronger, wiser, and in the end, someone who not only survives, but thrives. Now I want you to think, what lesson do you think the toxicity in your family is trying to teach you? It may seem difficult to see this now, but stay with me, because in the next point, we're going to explore how to recognize these lessons and turn what seemed like a battle into your greatest victory. Have you ever noticed how the people who hurt us the most are often the ones who teach us the most? What if I told you that your family, even in the midst of chaos and pain, is a perfect mirror, reflecting the parts of you that still need attention? Perhaps you've felt like a victim, wondering why so many toxic attitudes are directed at you. It's hard, I know. Growing up hearing harsh words or facing constant manipulation seems to eat away at your self-esteem. You feel you deserve better. But what if these experiences were a way of showing you something deeper, something you haven't yet seen about yourself? Behind every toxic behavior, there is a reflection. And that reflection, however uncomfortable, is trying to tell you something. That anger that bothers you so much in others, has it already appeared inside you? The need for control that you see around you, wasn't it also part of who you are at some point? It's not easy to admit, but it's necessary in order to grow. When you stop fighting your reflexes and start observing them, something magical happens. You begin to realize that you no longer need to be defined by these patterns. That's when true self-knowledge begins. Recognizing, accepting, and transforming. These familiar mirrors are actually invitations for you to look inwards. They show you where the wounds are, the patterns that need to be broken, the parts of you that are waiting to be healed. Every confrontation, every tense moment with your family is an opportunity to get to know yourself better and grow. You don't have to be a slave to these reflections. You can use them as tools for your liberation. And now, I want to know from you, what was the most striking situation with your family that made you see something about yourself? Share your experience in the comments. This exchange can inspire and help other people who are going through something similar. Think for a moment. What family behaviors bother you the most? And how might they be reflecting something inside you? Facing this can be uncomfortable, but it's one of the most transformative steps on your journey. In the next section, we'll talk about how to turn these mirrors into tools for healing and liberation. Have you ever felt like you were carrying the weight of the world on your back, stuck with the hurts and wounds of the past? What if I told you that the healing you so desperately seek begins when you decide to leave it all behind? If you grew up in a toxic environment, it's likely that you've built up resentment. Perhaps you still remember hurtful words, looks of contempt, or that silence that seemed to shout louder than any words. And those moments may still be controlling how you feel today, as if they were invisible chains holding you back. Forgiveness? I know it seems impossible. How can you let go of the pain when it's been so deep? Maybe you think, if I forgive, it's like saying that what happened was right. But it's not about that. Forgiveness isn't about who hurt you. It's about you. It's about releasing the control that these memories have over your life. When you begin to understand that forgiveness is a gift to yourself, something changes. You realize that letting go of the past is not about forgetting, but about freeing yourself. Because you can't change what happened, but you can decide how it will impact you from now on. Healing begins with the decision not to let the past define who you are. Every time you choose to forgive, you take a step towards your emotional freedom. Remember, forgiveness is not an event, it's a process. And with each small step forward, you feel lighter, more connected to yourself, stronger to create a future that is no longer defined by pain. What about you? What was the biggest difficulty you faced when trying to forgive or let go of the past? Share it in the comments. Your story could be the inspiration someone needs to start their own healing journey. Think about it. What are you still carrying that no longer serves your growth? And what would happen if you decided to let it go? In the next point, we'll talk about how to break generational patterns and turn your story into a healing legacy. Have you ever wondered why certain family patterns seem to repeat themselves, generation after generation? As if stories of pain, hurt, or silence were passed down as an inheritance. What if I told you that you were the person chosen to break this cycle? Perhaps you've noticed this in your own family. Addictions that repeat themselves, toxic behaviors that seem to be almost automatic, or even a lack of communication that spans generations. You look around and feel that these patterns don't belong to you, but they are there, as if they were inevitable. And the hardest part? It seems that no one but you sees it. But carrying that responsibility isn't easy, is it? You feel the weight of being the person who wants to change history, who wants something different for themselves and for those who come after. And at the same time, it can seem like an enormous, almost impossible task. After all, how do you break away from something so deeply rooted? What you need to know is that you're not alone. Yes, it's challenging. But being chosen to break these patterns is also an honor. Because by transforming your story, you don't just change your future, you change the future of your entire lineage. Breaking generational patterns starts with awareness. When you recognize the behaviors you no longer want to perpetuate, you've already taken the first step. The next step is to act, to choose to be different, even if it means swimming against the current. Remember, you're not just breaking chains, you're building a legacy of healing and transformation. And that impact will be felt for generations. If you believe that this journey of transformation is important, and you want to continue discovering how to change patterns and create a different future, subscribe to our channel. Here, we explore the paths to healing and change together, step by step. Activate the bell so you don't miss out on upcoming content. Each video could be the key you've been looking for. Now, I ask you, which family pattern do you most want to break? And how can your transformation influence those who come after you? Think about it, because in the next section we're going to talk about how to take the next step and really leave the past behind. Have you ever felt that your happiness is in the hands of others? That if only your family would change, your life would be lighter, happier? What if I told you that true freedom begins when you realize that the power to transform is actually within you? Maybe you've been waiting for years for something to change, for people around you to be more understanding, for toxic attitudes to stop, for someone to apologize. And while you waited, you may have felt frustration growing, as if your happiness was always out of reach, dependent on something or someone. But this waiting is exhausting, isn't it? It feels like an endless battle, because external change doesn't always come. You find yourself thinking, can I only be happy if everything around me is perfect? This creates a cycle of anguish, because deep down, you know that you can't control others, only yourself. What I want you to understand today is that real change doesn't start in the world around you. It starts within you. When you stop waiting for others to change and start transforming the way you react, you discover the incredible power that has always been with you. From the moment you take responsibility for your inner peace, nothing else can take it away from you. It's not about accepting the toxic behavior of others, but deciding that your happiness will no longer be held hostage to it. You begin to build healthy boundaries, to value your choices and, above all, to live according to who you really are. Now think, what can you change within yourself to find the peace you so desire? What decision can you make today to begin this transformation? The journey may not be easy, but every step you take towards your emotional autonomy is a step towards true freedom. We've come to the end of this reflection, and I hope that each point we've covered has awakened something in you. Remember, transformation begins within us, and every step towards healing and emotional freedom is a victory. You have the power to break patterns, reframe your story, and build a future that reflects who you really are. If this message has touched your heart and you want to continue this journey with me, subscribe to our channel. Here, we are together exploring paths of self-knowledge, healing, and evolution. Activate the bell so you don't miss any content that can transform your life. Thank you very much for being here. May your journey be filled with strength, courage, and discoveries. See you in the next video.